Hello everyone. I want to take just a few minutes to show you some of the things that I have learned about Piazza in the last week. As you know, this tool is new to me. However, it is not new to many professors and students at San Jose and in the iSchool in particular. I've talked with many who are very enthusiastic about the facile interface of this very wiki-style collaborative discussion board. And I've been playing around with it, as have some of you, I see, and we're making discoveries all the time. And I wanted to point out a few that I have made. You probably have made some more, and I invite you to create your own screencast if you like, or just pop a post into Piazza and tell us, oh, what else you have found to be useful. By the way, I'm using Screencast-O-Matic, which is one of the options for your first major assignment for this class, which is to create a screencast. Now, mine here is going to be a quick down and dirty. It's not super planned out. I just wanted to get something out to you really, really quickly with a few highlights. So as I mentioned, I'm choosing to try this out because one of the things that happens to me a lot and to a lot of professors and students a lot in Canvas is that students come forward with terrific questions and they email their professor separately. I manage an incredible amount of email from students, all which is super valuable and I care about a lot. And what happens is I don't capture all of those great questions and all of my answers to them. I don't have the ability to capture all of those and post those to the discussion boards. I have such an influx of mail that it just would be impossible to post all of the excellent questions that come through. And I'm afraid that the greater number in the class miss out on some of those excellent questions and my answers to them, or my conversation with the student about them. It's not always that I have answers for things, but that the conversation creates an answer for the two of us or more of us. So because of the wiki style here of Piazza, each student question that is posed can be seen by other students. And it is also a benefit that students can answer each other. There are 35 of you and one of me, and at any given time, there are going to be more of you online than there are me online by definition. And many of you have already answered each other's questions, even just in the few short days that we've been together. I've seen the benefit here. Let me point out here how I see this working. For example, I have brought up a question that came in. Let's see, this came in. I'm going over to the right here. I can see that it was posted 5 days ago. And it was a great question about the integration of Google Docs. And so I was able to go over underneath the question down by the blue edit button here. There is something like a like button. It's called Good Question button. And I pushed that because I wanted to highlight this good question for other students. And then you can see here in the middle underneath the question, Instructor Shelley Buchanan thinks this is a good question. Another student answered this question before I was able to get to it, hooray, and they had the right answer. They had a useful answer. And so I clicked again, good answer, and you can see here in the green underneath that answer that I endorsed it. And so that was my way of saying, okay, this is a complete Q&A. Now, if there were more to be said, I could go down below this response here to the instructor area and add information to it, make a correction or add additional information. You can see over to the left where there is just the quick view of this conversation, that there is an orange check mark that demonstrates the instructor has checked this as they're a good answer to a student question. Underneath that is the green box, and the green box is replicated right here, and that means a student has made a post, either a comment or a question or a poll. So you can see that right here. Let's take a look in this, cascade of Q&A that goes from, or posts rather, they're not all questions, some people are posting comments. So here in the timeline, it's organized chronologically, the comments and questions are, and you can see some have got an orange eye on the right hand side, and that is for instructor. And that means I have sanctioned that as, or underscored that as a good question. And same here, good answer. Let's go down further. Here you see a student responding to a student query. And this student made a really good effort. It didn't go to the problem here. There was a problem with the link. This student up here was questioning a link which was in fact broken, and I had to relink it. And so I came down below and said that I made the correction. So you can see that students are involved and the instructor is involved here in this conversation thread. Hopefully, over time, you're going to see many more green student squares, showing that students are engaged in conversation with each other, answering and asking and answering questions. Let's take a look up above the, did I point out, I don't think I have, how to make a new post. Here, underneath Piazza, the blue button, New Post, you'll click that, and you'll go over to the main frame here. Note that you can write to an individual student or to me here in Piazza. Note that you can select your question, or your post type rather, question, note, or a poll. You're going to choose whether you're posting to the entire class or to an individual. And then you're going to select a folder that it will be lodged in for posterity. So I have created these folders. They're specialized for this course. If you find that there are other folders that will be helpful for the class, let me know and I can create them. We've got the introduction folder. That's about getting started. Course questions. Questions and sharing of the screencast assignment. GOTS is the Guide on the Side assignment. Hopefully you've taken a look at that. That will be where questions for that assignment and sharing of that assignment are lodged. Other sharing. Watercolor is simply a chit-chat area, and any announcements you or I need to make. So in your post, this is going to be like your subject line, and your information is going to go down here in the big area with all of the text tools that we have come to depend upon in various programs. When you are finished and satisfied with your note, you go down to the bottom center here with a long golden orange bar, and you press that to post your question or your note. You can also save it for later. If you get caught midstream, you've got a child needing you, or something burning in the oven, or a patron needs something, say you're posting something while you're at work, for example, you can save the draft. Up above the new blue post button over here on the left are a few helpful buttons. You can hit here, unread, for all of those posts that you have not read. Anything that's been updated. So you might find that later on there are some updates in conversations that had lapsed a while back, but maybe somebody picks up a thread and there's an update. You'll find them here in updated. There are certain threads that I will mark as resolved if I see them as resolved or unresolved. I'm not sure yet, and you can tell me if you have the opportunity to do that yourself. Count something as resolved or unresolved. I think it may be an instructor privilege, but I'm not sure. And also, you can choose to follow a thread in a conversation. Let me show you how to do that. Let's go to one of these conversations here. Way over on the right in the gray drop down here, at the very edge of the screen, you can see a series of actions that you can take. And I'm already following this, or I was following this conversation. And I can stop following it, or I can follow it. And when I follow it, what happens is it gets pinned to the left over here at the top. And so you might choose to follow something that is an ongoing conversation. You might choose to follow something because it's got valuable information you want to return to quite swiftly later on. You can also star comments, and that's a way of pinning it to the top. So let's say you wanted to remember this question here about the spreadsheet. You just click that, and that then is going to be pinned to your favorites as well. I think that concludes the most important elements that I have discovered so far here in Piazza. I do want to encourage all of you to explore and to really give this that good old college try. I am a proponent of trying new things. You will see that in this course. That is how we learn. We learn by trying things out, and we are able to evaluate something after we've fully explored it. And the only way that we can really know whether this is going to be a valuable resource for us is if we give it a good effort over a period of time. So let's do that together, and we will get a chance to make our own judgments, maybe midterm, I would say, and certainly after that, we can take a poll. It'll be interesting to get feedback from everyone to see how it's working, what the benefits are, what the challenges are to Piazza, and that's something that we can follow up on with the Piazza crew, who are very interested in our feedback. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm looking forward to our conversations.